When was the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror and asked, am I truly living the life I want? Not the life others expect from me. Not the one that seems right in the eyes of society, but the life that genuinely resonates with my soul. Carl Jung, one of the most profound thinkers in modern psychology, left us with a lesson that few dare to follow: the importance of choosing yourself, even when everything around you pushes you in the opposite direction. We live in a world meticulously designed to distract us, to keep us trapped in routines, expectations, and an endless stream of obligations that seem unavoidable. From the moment you wake up, you're bombarded with external demands: work, family responsibilities, social norms, all dictating how you should behave, what you should strive for, and even what success should look like. But here's a truth many refuse to acknowledge. Every time you prioritize others over yourself, you send a silent message to your inner self that it doesn't matter, that its needs, desires, and truths are secondary. You are ignoring that quiet voice from deep within your subconscious, the one persistently trying to guide you toward a more authentic and fulfilling life. Jung believed that our connection with the unconscious is not optional. It is an essential part of who we are. Yet so many people silence it, push it aside, and choose to ignore its signals, because facing it can be uncomfortable. That unease you feel when something in your life doesn't sit right, that is not random. That is your soul speaking to you, trying to show you that something needs to change, even if the mere thought of change terrifies you. Now pause for a moment and reflect. How many of the decisions you've made recently came from a place of true authenticity? And how many were driven by fear? Fear of disappointing others, fear of stepping outside the norm, fear of discomfort, or fear of breaking away from what is familiar. Jung urges us to contemplate this deeply because he understood a universal truth: decisions that are not rooted in your inner truth create nothing but chaos and disconnection. The further you stray from yourself, the more lost you will feel. But let's clarify something important. Choosing yourself does not mean rejecting others. It's not about selfishness or disregarding the people around you. It's about recognizing that in order to give the best version of yourself to the world, you must first be at peace with yourself. This is the fundamental principle of self-love, a concept Jung explored in depth. Self-love is not a luxury. It's not an excuse to escape responsibilities. It is the foundation upon which all meaningful and authentic relationships are built. When you choose to prioritize yourself, something profound shifts in your energy. You begin to attract people and situations that are aligned with your true essence. It's as if the universe responds to your decision to live in truth, eliminating what no longer serves you and bringing forth what you truly need to grow. But to reach this state, you must first confront your shadows, the parts of yourself you've ignored, suppressed, or feared. Jung described the shadow as the hidden aspect of our psyche, the one that holds everything we'd rather not acknowledge about ourselves. Facing your shadow can be uncomfortable, but it is within this confrontation that true transformation begins. Because when you integrate your shadows, when you stop fighting them and learn to accept them, you unlock an inner power you never imagined you had. This process of integration does not happen overnight. It requires courage, patience, and an unwavering commitment to understanding yourself. But what you gain in return is invaluable. Clarity, the ability to see beyond the illusions you once believed in, purpose, a renewed sense of direction and meaning in your life, inner peace, calm so profound that no external chaos can shake it. You gain the ability to say no, to what does not align with you without guilt, without fear, and without worrying about the judgment of others. But most importantly, you gain the freedom to be who you truly are. You might be wondering, how do I begin this journey? The answer is far simpler than you think. Start by listening to yourself. Every time you feel discomfort, uncertainty, or a surge of emotion, pause and ask, what is my unconscious trying to tell me? Because, as Jung once said, the answers you seek externally are already within you. You just need the courage to listen and the determination to act accordingly. One of the hardest things we do in life is listen to our intuition, especially when it leads us down a path that challenges everything we've built. Maybe it's a relationship is no longer working. Maybe it's a job that drains you but feels impossible to leave. Maybe it's a dream you've been chasing simply because it seemed like the right thing to do. Jung reminds us that ignoring these signals is not a sign of strength. It is a denial of our true essence. To choose yourself is to have the courage to let go of what no longer resonates with you. And that is not always easy. We cling to the familiar because change is terrifying. We convince ourselves that it's better to stick with the devil we know than to face the unknown. But Jung challenges us to see change not as an ending, but as a doorway, a passage to a more authentic version of ourselves. So, think about this. What are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What relationships, beliefs, or habits are you maintaining out of fear? You may feel that letting go of certain people or situations would be a loss, but the real loss happens when you sacrifice your inner peace just to hold on to something that no longer has meaning. The choice is always yours. And perhaps the most important question you can ask yourself right now is, am I ready to truly choose myself? Choosing yourself is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of profound love and deep respect for who you truly are. For too long, society has conditioned us to believe that prioritizing ourselves is wrong, that putting our needs first is a betrayal of the people around us. But the reality is quite the opposite. When you finally make the conscious decision to choose yourself, something truly magical begins to unfold. It's as if a fog that had been clouding your vision starts to lift. And for the first time in a long time, you see things with clarity. The people who genuinely support you remain by your side, while those who only drained your energy, those who never truly valued you, begin to fade away. And this is no coincidence. It is the direct reflection of an internal shift. Transformation is an alignment between your inner world and your external reality. Carl Jung called this synchronicity the mysterious yet undeniable connection between your thoughts, emotions, and the circumstances that unfold in your life. When you begin to live in alignment with your truth, your external world shifts to mirror that transformation. It's as if the universe responds to your authenticity by reshaping your environment to match it. However, this process requires something that many find difficult: radical honesty with yourself. Choosing yourself is not just about making bold decisions or setting firm boundaries. Sometimes, it also means acknowledging uncomfortable truths about your past. Perhaps you've made choices that didn't reflect who you truly are. Maybe you've allowed people to overstep your boundaries, sacrificing your own well-being to please them. You might have said yes to things you knew you should have refused, simply out of fear of disappointing others. But here's the crucial part: this is not a reason to judge yourself. It's an opportunity, an invitation to learn, to recalibrate, and to choose differently moving forward. Jung believed authenticity is not a destination. It's a continuous journey, a process of learning, evolving, and growing into the truest. version of yourself, and on this path, you will face resistance. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when old habits tempt you to return to familiar patterns simply because they feel comfortable. But remember this: true growth never happens within your comfort zone. The most profound transformations occur when you dare to step beyond the familiar into the unknown. The world will not always understand your decision to choose yourself. There will be people who criticize you, who question your choices, who may even distance themselves because you no longer fit their expectations. And yes, this can be painful, because when you choose yourself, you stop seeking external validation. You begin to realize that your worth is not defined by what others think of you, but by what you believe about yourself. This does not mean isolating yourself or disconnecting from others. In fact, it's quite the opposite. When you choose yourself, your relationships evolve in ways you never imagined. You no longer chase approval. You seek genuine connection. You no longer settle for shallow interactions. You crave relationships that nourish your soul, and in this process, you discover something beautiful. The right people will always remain, not because they need you, but because they value you exactly as you are. As you begin to live from a place of authenticity, the world around you transforms. This is not magic. It's the powerful interplay between your inner and outer worlds. Jung often spoke about how our psyche projects our inner state onto the external world. If you live in internal conflict, you will attract external conflict. If you reject yourself, you will encounter rejection in various forms. But if you choose yourself, if you fully accept and embrace who you are, you will start to see how the people and circumstances around you also begin to shift. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. And like any process, it requires patience and commitment. There will be days when it feels like you're taking steps backward, moments when old tendencies resurface. But this is where the real test lies: your ability to stay firm in your decision to choose yourself, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels lonely. We live in a world that glorifies sacrifice, a world that tells you giving everything to others, even at the expense of your own well-being, is noble. But what happens when you pour from an empty cup? What happens when you give so much that you lose yourself in the process? Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary, because only when you are whole, when you are aligned with your truth, can you truly give to others from a place of abundance, not depletion. So dare to choose yourself, not just once, but every day. Not just in the big decisions, but in the smallest of choices. And watch as your life begins to transform in ways you never imagined. Jung taught us something profoundly important. We cannot give what we do not possess. If you sacrifice your happiness, your energy, or your inner peace in an attempt to please others, then what you're offering is not authentic. Sooner or later, that imbalance will manifest itself through emotional exhaustion, dissatisfaction, or an emptiness that you can't explain. Take a moment to reflect on your current relationships. How many of them inspire you, uplift you, and bring you peace? And how many leave you feeling drained, confused, or emotionally depleted? Jung invites us to ponder this deeply. Our relationships are not just social connections, they are mirrors, reflecting our internal state. The people we allow close to us reflect the beliefs, values, and emotional patterns within us. If you find yourself allowing someone to repeatedly cross your boundaries, it's not necessarily because they are bad. It's because a part of you has not yet learned how to protect itself. Setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of self-love. Jung believed that the unconscious mind is always working to guide us toward our well-being, but more often than not, we ignore its signals. That sense of exhaustion you feel after interacting with certain people is not a coincidence. It's your unconscious telling you that the relationship is not in alignment with your true essence, and if you continue to ignore these signals, the price you pay will always be your inner peace. Choosing yourself means setting boundaries, not as walls to shut people out, but as bridges that lead to healthier and more authentic relationships. When you say no to what does not serve you, you are simultaneously saying yes to your truth, your dreams, and your well-being. This doesn't mean you need to sever ties with everyone. It means you must be honest with yourself about which relationships nourish you and which ones drain you. As you begin to live from this place of authenticity, something extraordinary happens. Your intuition strengthens. That inner voice, which once seemed faint, starts guiding you with clarity. You begin making choices that not only make logical sense, but also feel right deep within your soul. This is the power of choosing yourself. It reconnects you with your intuition, with that inner compass that has always been there, waiting for you to trust it. Jung described intuition as one of the purest forms of connection with the unconscious. It's that inexplicable knowing, that gut feeling when something feels right or when it doesn't. But to truly hear it, you must silence the noise of the outside world. This means letting go of the need for approval, detaching from societal expectations, and learning to trust yourself, because at the end of the day, no one else can truly know what is best for you. When you decide to choose yourself, you're sending a powerful message to the universe. I am ready to live in alignment with my truth, and the universe responds. Suddenly, you begin to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with who you truly are. This doesn't mean life will be free of challenges, but those challenges will no longer feel like an endless struggle. Instead, they will become stepping stones, opportunities for growth, transformation, and self-discovery. By choosing to live in authenticity, you also begin to experience something Jung described as synchronicity, those seemingly random yet perfectly timed events that unfold in your life. These are not coincidences. They are a direct reflection of your inner alignment. When you are in harmony with yourself, the external world starts aligning with you as well. Doors open effortlessly. The right people come into your life at the right moment, and everything begins to flow in ways that once seemed impossible. This is the beauty of embracing your true self. When you honor your inner world, the external world responds in kind. And in that space of deep alignment, you find not only a greater sense of fulfillment, but also a profound sense of peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you're meant to be. Moments of doubt are not signs of failure. They are an integral part of the process. Jung saw them as opportunities to deepen your connection with yourself, to reflect, to learn, and to grow. Each challenge, each setback is an invitation to shed the false layers and step into something greater, to move closer to your true essence. And in those moments when the path feels uncertain, it is essential to remember this: you are not alone. Although the journey toward authenticity may seem solitary at first, you will inevitably find people, experiences, and resources that support you along the way. The more you embrace who you truly are, the more aligned you become with those who resonate with your energy. And when that happens, the journey no longer feels like a struggle. It becomes a homecoming. Perhaps it's a book, a conversation, or Even a video like this one that reaches you at the exact moment you need it most. These are not mere coincidences. They are sign signals from the universe confirming you are on the right path. Every moment, every decision, every challenge you've overcome has led you here, to this very instant. And though the future may seem uncertain, there is one undeniable truth. As long as you continue to choose yourself, you will be building a life that is truly worth living. The greatest gift you can give yourself is to be unapologetically you, not the version of yourself that others expect, not the one you crafted just to fit in, but your purest essence, the real you that exists when no one else is watching. Carl Jung revealed that the true work of life does not lie in searching outside of ourselves, but in unraveling the deep mysteries that reside within. And when you finally make the conscious choice to embrace yourself, you come to a profound realization. Everything you've been searching for has always been within you. This is a call to action. Life is far too short to remain trapped in the need for external validation, too short to ignore your own desires, to silence your dreams just to meet the expectations of others. The time to take that first step is now. The time to confront your fears, to acknowledge your shadows, and to listen to the quiet whispers of your intuition. Is today the moment to reconnect with your true self is right in front of you. Because when you choose yourself, you do more than transform your own life. You change the world around you. Your energy shifts, your perspective expands, and your very presence begins to inspire those who cross your path. And now, what comes next? This is the moment to reflect on everything you've just heard. Ask yourself, which aspects of my life are truly aligned with my authentic self? What can I let go of to live with greater authenticity? What is holding me back from embracing the person I was always meant to be? Remember, every small step matters. Every single choice you make in favor of your true self is a victory. And most importantly, you are not alone on this journey. This space, this community, this channel exists to remind you of your infinite potential and to guide you along your path of self-discovery. If this message has resonated with you, don't let it stop here. Extend its impact beyond yourself. Share this video with someone who might need it, someone searching for answers, someone facing their own challenges, someone who might need this exact moment of clarity. Every interaction matters. Every comment, every like, every share helps this message reach more people, people who, just like you, are searching for a deeper connection with their true selves. Imagine the impact we can create together. A community of individuals committed to living from a place of authenticity, courage, and self-acceptance. Now, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments what part of this message spoke to your heart. What steps are you willing to take today to choose yourself and honor your true essence? Every word you share matters, not just to me, but to everyone on this same journey, seeking their own truth, their own clarity. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you never miss another message like this. Together, we can bring this reflection to every corner, to every person who needs to be reminded that the greatest power of all lies in the simple yet profound act of choosing to be who you truly are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. But above all, thank you for being part of this movement, this awakening, this shared journey towards self-discovery. Never forget, you are not alone. Change begins with you, and the world desperately needs more people with the courage to embrace their authentic selves. I'll see you in the next video, and always remember, Life truly begins the moment you decide to choose yourself.